What's happening? It's your boy Young Noah checking in. I am the king behind the crown, and you are tuned in to King's Court.
Young Noah's life was nothing short of a modern-day prodigal son. Raised and sheltered in a Christian environment, he was homeschooled until the 5th grade. It wasn't until he started attending traditional school and was recommended to the Boys and Girls Club gang outreach program did he first start rapping. Despite coming to Christ at a very young age, teenage peer pressure drew him away from his core values. However, at the age of 19, young Noah began to feel the conviction of the Holy Spirit again and walked away from a secular rapping opportunity. After making the choice to quit music completely, he took time to obtain 2 bachelor degrees while rekindling his relationship with Christ. After graduating, he was given the opportunity to sign with Clear Sight Music and had the opportunity to tour worldwide and share the gospel of Jesus Christ throughout the medium of music. After departing from Clear Sight, young Noah made a choice to pursue his strong passion for evangelism and missions by establishing the first Dirty Work Ministries, which he describes as missionary organization for your local city. Hey you guys, this is King Lady and you're watching King's Court, and we get to know the king behind the crown. And today at the set here in Savannah we have William Thomas Bohannon, better known as Young Noah. Welcome! What's up?
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Come on in. Welcome to the SAV.
Happy to be here. Excited,
Yeah?
excited, yes.
Wow. So I already said your name, but tell everyone again the way you said it before. What your name was?
William Thomas Bohannon.
Bohannon. And
Yes,
how'd
ma'am.
your father name you?
After a wife, no, just playing. It was my my uncle, his brother. named
Okay.
after him. Yeah.
What kind of person was he?
He was a great man.
Yeah, he was.
And I'm just grateful to be named after someone, because my big brother got named after my dad.
Oh,
so
okay.
he was the number 1 son.
So that was your dad's like favorite brother or favorite uncle, right?
Favorite brother, my uncle.
Okay, that's cool.
Yes.
So we're getting to know William Thomas, Young Noah. How was your childhood? Like, where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up in a small town. I was actually born in I was born in Noonan. Then when I was a kid, I lived in this
Noonan,
super
Georgia.
country town, Noonan, Georgia,
Shut up.
called Grantville. So till I was like 7 or 8, I was in this small town called Grantville. Moved to Noonan when I was about 9 or 10.
Okay.
And just homeschooled.
Really?
till,
what was that like?
That was crazy. I loved it, because we
Yeah.
worked for like an hour a day, and then we were just able to go do whatever we wanted. As soon as we got all our work done, we'd have to go to school for like 8 hours, like everybody else.
Who were you in class with? Your brothers?
My brothers, sisters, my mom was teaching us, and
Really? So how many siblings do you have?
it's 7 of us total.
Dang,
Yes,
country boy.
7.
They be popping them out.
And my dad was in a family of 13. My mom was in a family of 11.
13.
So big families were.
Yeah, that was common in that age. Because my parents is 9 and 7. But y'all topped the mark.
Yeah.
13 and 11. So who are you in the siblings?
Right in the middle.
You're a middle
Smack
child.
in between 7.
And who's under you, girls or
I got 3 brothers under me, 1 older brother, 2 older sisters.
So the older sisters are like moms.
Yeah.
Did they whoop you guys? And
He just fought a lot.
you fought them? You
not physical, like fussing and
like,
fighting like that. And,
yeah.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so you don't know what it's like to have a little sister then? Huh?
Nah, because everybody thinks my big sister is actually younger than me because she looks super young.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Wow. And so you were Christian starting out.
Grew up just very in church, singing in the choir, hanging out with my brothers all the time.
Yeah.
And, just love the Lord, you know. But, you know, when I started school, I think it was such a negative influence. It just, I don't know, peer pressure just kind of strayed me away.
So you homeschooled at first and then you went into
started school in 5th grade. I started public school.
Wow. Yeah. That must have been.
It was crazy.
When you got to school, kids was probably cussing.
They were so evil. I remember thinking like, man, why are these kids so evil and mean?
Wow.
They were talking about my clothes, and I didn't know nothing about name brand clothes or none of that stuff. So,
wow. Yeah. And that had a negative, because that's what we talk about a lot now, about how people don't want their kids in public school because of those reasons.
Yep.
So you actually started off and then went to school, and that's where the negative influence came from.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So did you start rapping with you and your brothers, or was
Well, I started rapping in high school when I was like 15. Went to the Boys and Girls Club, and they had a studio that we helped to, we fundraised to get the money to buy studio equipment.
That's tight. And then y'all just started snapping in the studio.
We just started making these songs. We started out making like positive songs, and then it just gradually became, we want to rap about what the world is rapping about. And we had to kind of sneak and make these hood songs.
Yeah.
Because our directors at the club wouldn't, you know,
they wouldn't let y'all do it.
Yeah.
So do you remember any of those songs from back then?
Man, I had all kind of songs. Just, I had one song called, what was it called?
Oh, we getting the good stuff now.
I had a song called Not the Chevy. Forgive me, I'm a sweater.
That's all right.
So I'm gonna be hot. Had this one song called Not the Chevy. It was like, not the Chevy with the Lamborghini doors on deck. Not the Avizu's red monkey jabos. Like, we were just rapping about, you know, our clothes and stuff like that. And
that's tight.
So it was crazy, you know, just to get that attention from the community about, you know, what. It's just that attention you get from your peers, and everybody in the community knows who you are. They know you're a rapper. Girls will start liking you and stuff like that. So I love that attention, and I just wanted to be famous. You know, that was my desire. I was like, I want to be a famous rapper, and I chased after it.
Wow.
You know, with everything.
So when did the girls ever become a problem after you started school?
Girls was
That's hilarious, huh? On set, like
I don't know. I remember just in the hood, you know, when I fell hard. You know, I fell into some dark places when I was going through my teenage years, because I was playing basketball for my high school, and you know, I was an athlete. My high school basketball team was super good, and we were good. You know, good ball player. And so girls was always like, oh, just wanted to know me. Girls from the different high schools. I went to like 3 proms my senior year.
Dang,
3 different high schools, 3 different girls. It was just.
He was in there. 3 proms.
It was bad. I mean, it was bad.
Like getting asked your senior year besides yours, 1 extra is like you popular, but 3?
3, and I was broke as a mug, trying to get tuxedos and rental cars, and
oh Lord,
it was a mess. So yeah, it was pretty bad. But you know, rapping was my passion, and when I turned, I think I was 18. I got an opportunity to, we entered this contest. We had to shoot a music video. They'll fly you out to LA, record a demo. And so we shot this music video to this song that we did. And I went home and I said, I know we're going to win this contest. I don't know what it is. I just felt like we were going to win. And we did. And next thing I know, I'm on a plane, you know, and I'm flying to LA to live this rap dream that I've had. But like shortly before we won this contest, I ended up giving my life to the Lord.
Wow.
And like just recommitting everything to God. I used to have like these long dreadlocks.
Really?
And like 16 rose gold teeth, same color as this watch right here.
So at the concert that was talking about.
So I had I was a different, it's weird because you can grow up in church, but then you can stray so far from what you know.
Do you have any old pictures of that?
I think I deleted most of them. I think y'all got one.
We do?
One picture of me with the dreads and the teeth, and it's not
We're going to
cute.
show that on the screen.
It's not pretty. It's not pretty. But so I flew out there, and
so that's what kind of heightened the.
It was. I knew I had a choice to make.
Wow.
Because I knew that the stuff I was rapping about, because I was in the game. It wasn't that I was pretending to be a thug. I became a thug. In my neighborhood, people knew me, and people were afraid of me and the dudes I hung with.
Wow.
Because we was always so deep. Everywhere we went, it was 100 of us.
Wow.
We would go to a high school basketball game, and the entire side of the gym up at the top, you know how you got the lower level steps and you got the upper level steps. The entire
y'all was thick
top
that?
part would be us in black tees.
Dang.
And I remember one basketball game, it was my old high school, and they didn't like some dude on the team, and they wanted to fight the dude. And they came and asked me, I know this your high school, you probably know that dude. Can we start a riot? And I was like, wow, it's you sitting there and you looking and you see all these guys looking at you give us the order. And it wasn't that I was in charge, it was that they respected me because this was my school. Wow. They were like, can we cause a riot in this mug? And I was like,
yeah or no?
I was like, nah, man.
It's my school.
Y'all need to chill out, So that when people are afraid of you, and when you have so many guys with you, you will start feeling yourself. Mm-hmm. You'll get so arrogant and proud because nobody will mess with you. Because they know if you mess with him, you got to deal with all these flock of dudes. And so I flew to LA, and right before I flew, I just gave my life to the Lord. I cut my dreads. I took all my jewelry out. I had big earrings, and big chains, and big watches, and all that stuff. It was.
I was because the Saints, we come from some places. And
so now I'm just this happy person. I'm smiling all the time, just full of joy. But back then, I was just angry all the time because I was chasing these things, but it never fulfilled me. It never satisfied me. And I remember my mom recently told me, I had to tell, when I would pull up in the driveway, she would have to tell everybody in my house that I was home, and don't nobody say nothing to me. Just leave them alone, let them come in the house. Because, I'm high off weed all the time. That stuff running through my bloodstream. I'm angry all the time. And if anybody say something to me, I'm a snap. Big brother, I used to beat him up, used to beat my big brother up. It was bad.
You just had a demonic force on you.
And I believe that the devil wanted me.
Yeah, for his glory.
And it wasn't like this spooky thing where he was just hanging over me googly. It was just, I felt that the devil wanted to use me for his kingdom because I was influential and my music was good.
Jesus.
So I go to LA, and the night before we went into the studio, now this is the same studio Black Eyed Peas used, Jennifer Lopez uses, EVE back when she was hot. Different people use this studio, and the night before we went in, I went on the beach, I said, Lord, I don't want to do this. No, I didn't say that. I said, Lord, I want to do this. I want to go in here. I want to get this money. I want to record these songs. Mm-hmm. I'm in LA right now. I've seen everybody in Maybachs. We in a Chrysler 300. We thought we were doing something, but out there, that ain't nothing.
Nothing.
You know what I mean? So I was like, I want to get this money. I can't walk away from this. Period. But I said, but if you will come inside of me, live inside of me, and make these decisions for me, cause me to walk away from this.
Yeah, make me
influence me to walk away from this. I know you can't make me do nothing, but make me do this. You know what I mean? Push me hard enough to where I will walk away. And I went back to the hotel, sat on the bed. I just broke down crying because I was in a group with 2 other guys, and I said,
wow,
I can't do this no more. And I'm a young guy. I'm 19 at the time. Just turned 19. So these dudes are younger than me. One of them was 18. One of them was 19 too. And so we're young men in LA, on the beach, on Venice Beach, in a penthouse, you know, manager taking us all around Beverly Hills and Melrose Place, and we seeing all these streets, Rodeo Drive, we used to see on TV, and we just riding around going to Pink's, getting hot dogs, seeing the actors then sign the wall. We just like, wow, we're finally gonna make it. And I had to crush their world, because without me, they couldn't write a tight hook. They knew that if I left, they didn't really have nothing. And because that's just who I was the hook man. And when in Atlanta, if you ain't got no hook, you ain't got no song, you know? So I told them I can't do it no more, I'm sorry.
Did they cry?
I quit. They was mad. My homeboy was like, man, you wait till now? It wasn't nothing funny about it. It's like, you wait till now to walk away? Like, we just got flew to California. We in a penthouse suite on the beach, like, Jesus. All these girls and all this stuff going on, and now you want to walk away and you want to be a Christian. And they were like, we knew something was up, because you cut your dreads off and you took your gold teeth out your mouth, and you know, you ain't been cussing. But so they kind of knew something was going on, but I hadn't went public yet with my new faith. And so got back on the plane, came home, and I was done being a rapper. I could care less about being a rapper or a Christian rapper. I didn't even think about Christian rap. I didn't even know Christian rap existed for real.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's how it started. So you gave all that up. So that was like the pinnacle moment when, does that remind you of when Satan showed him all this? The same feeling, was it?
Yep. My big brother was, he had become a Christian before me. And before I went to LA, he came to me, he said, you know, Satan is about to take you, and he's going to show you everything that can be yours. He prophesied it. And even more so, he said, you're going to go. It's just like when he took Jesus up to the pinnacle. And this is what my manager did. We got in that car. She took us to Beverly Hills. We drove up past the Hollywood sign, all up there. And we stopped on this little side of the road. She said, see that house right there? You see that car right there? You see this right here? This can be y'all's. If y'all, you know, rap about this stuff, but don't do it. You know, don't be a thug. Just talk about it, because, you know, you don't want to go to jail and prison. But she was basically like, you know, rap about these things, make these music, sex, money, drugs, lies, gangs.
So they actually just flat out tell you,
she just flat out
want you to rap.
Because she was like, being 100, like, I don't want you to do crime. I don't want you in prison. But I want you to rap about this stuff, because that's what's hot. That's what sells. We can make some money. She just needed a group. It could be anybody. You can make a star out of anybody. Like the people you see at the top.
Come on.
You know, I'm not going to say, oh, they're the Illuminati, oh, they worship Satan. But they have given away their souls to fame. They will do anything. They'll put on a dress. They'll put on,
keep it real.
They'll talk about anything in their songs. They'll have sex with whoever can get them in a better position. Like these dudes and these women that you see at the top. No, they paid dues to get there. Yeah. There was nothing special about them. They were just so tight that the record label just had to offer them $30 million. Like, nah. Like, them people will do anything. And even non-Christian people won't do anything. Mm-hmm. Some non-Christian people got a moral, you know, but some of them people, they'll do anything.
Anything.
And I wasn't really willing to do nothing. I was like, man, I'm going to be true to God, and I'm just done. I prayed that God would give me the desire to want to please him, and he gave it to me. I wanted to serve God. I wanted to live for him. I wanted to please him. I wanted to not sin against God. It was a real desire. It was my desire to not sin against God. And it wasn't that I was perfect. It was just my heart changed. I wasn't faking it. I genuinely wanted to quit and serve the Lord.
Because there's some people who will say, you know, well, because I've had my moment like that too before, after I got a divorce, and I was like, came back in to move here to go to college. And then I was like, had that moment where I hooked up with somebody that from the past, and he was getting ready to come pick me up, and I was bitter, and I was like, Lord, I need you to come in right now because I'm
Yeah.
going to get in this car
Yep.
and I'm going to go to his place.
Yep. It's going down.
It's like you have to get to those, as believers, we do have to get to those points we real with God, and that was your real moment.
Yeah.
And that's when God really does come in. Because sometimes people get angry and say, well, I asked God to help me to not do this. I asked him and it didn't work. Like, what do you say to people like that, like who get angry with God because of that moment? What if you left and the desire to be right really wasn't there and
They lose. Like, I remember when I started serving the Lord, I said, God, I am never going to quit. I don't care what I do. I am never going to quit. There have been so many times I wanted to quit.
Me too.
Recently, like, there are always times you want to quit because it gets hard.
Yeah.
You mess up, you sin, you fall, and you up preaching, and you still mess up, and you still not perfect. You still going to God with stuff you've been wrestling with. And I told God, I said, I'm sorry. I'm not going to quit. Even when I don't feel because sometimes God he never leaves you, but he'll kind of draw back and just see what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Let me see if kind of like Job, God was like, you know what, try Job. Go ahead, mess with him. Because God wants to see, he wants other people to see, for the most part, that even if he don't keep blessing you with all this stuff, you'll keep serving him.
Still gonna love
You know, but some people, they sin, they fall into sin, and they be like, oh, it's just too much. This is just how I'm gonna be. I'm just gonna be a fornicator.
God,
I'm trying, but I'm just gonna smoke this weed. I'm just gonna be this, and this. And they don't know that the people who are faithfully coming to church serving God still struggle with some of the same stuff they do, but they struggle with it. They don't give in to it.
Yeah.
They don't just accept that this is who I am. I'm a fornicator. I'm gonna be a fornicator forever. I know people who wrestle with fornication, and it's just one sin, who wrestle with that, and they've been saved for 10 years wrestling with a porn addiction.
Yeah.
They've been saved by God, by faith in Jesus, for 10 years wrestling with a cigarette addiction. But they don't understand that salvation is an immediate thing. Salvation, as soon as you come to faith in Jesus Christ, it happens.
Tell it.
It happens. Now, if you want to be foolish and allow a sin struggle to be bigger than Jesus Christ strung out on the cross, you're foolish. You're losing it. If you want to let a sin struggle outweigh the power of Christ bleeding out on the cross, then something's wrong with your doctrine. Something's wrong with the way you read your Bible. Because what they don't get is, whether you overcome that sin struggle or not, your salvation isn't in overcoming a sin struggle. It's not. That's just sanctification. You're just dropping off weight. Not that there won't be consequences for sin. You know, you keep having sex, you're probably going to get somebody pregnant. Somebody going to get pregnant. You might catch a STD. There will be consequences for sin. But don't let your overcoming a sin equate to, okay, now I'm saved. Or I'm saved because I stopped smoking cigarettes. Now I'm saved because I quit smoking. Now, I'm not encouraging people to keep sinning. But if you think you're saved because you stopped doing something, something's wrong with the way you're reading the text. It's just something wrong. It's just something wrong with the way you're reading the text.
Because sometimes people do get like that. They're like, well, I stopped doing this. So
and that's their whole testimony. I used to be this, and now I'm this, and I'm saved because, and I went through that. Because when I stopped smoking, drinking, having sex, partying, selling dope, robbing people, I was on my high horse. Yeah, I'm saved. I don't do that anymore. And you start walking around like you all that. But then, you start wrestling with something. Oh, snap. It got me. And I can't get out. I'm not saved no more. And God is like, see, I went to church one time and this elder was like, how do you know you're saved? I was like, because I don't this, and this no more. I stopped, I walked away from this. I stopped doing that. But he was like, but how do you know that you're saved? It made me so mad. Because I was sitting there trying to tell him, like, man, I love Jesus. I don't do this, and I don't do this, and I don't do that no more. He said, but how are you saved? How do you know?
Wow.
And he challenged me, and I didn't understand what he was doing. I was like, what are you trying to do? Convince me that I'm not? But he was trying to explain to me that, listen, you're saved because you believe in what Jesus did. Period. And all this little stuff you naming, well, I used to do this, and I used to do that. That's just aftermath, That's just nothing but aftermath. So
So to get into the deeper place is going to take your favorite thing, well, my favorite thing to do, because I know we talked offline, and we was talking about the word processing. You know, in order to go from, you know, being an outer court Christian, which is I got saved, I believe, you know, but it's another thing to go behind, you know, the holies of holies, get into a deep place with God. In order to get to that place, there's something that has to happen. So what are you feeling about this word, about the process or processing?
Man, I'm learning, man. You know, you like for me, you know, I've traveled. I'm boasting in God right now.
Yes.
You know, I've traveled all over the world, and
blessed.
When I go to most of my shows, I don't even get on stage and say I've traveled, and because some shows you go to, nobody know who you are, and some artists try to get up and say, well, I've been here and I've done this and I've done this and that, just to try to show the crowd how big of an artist you are. But I just get up, hi, my name is XYZ, hear my songs, boom, 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 I'm gone. But just to boast in God, it's like God took me from nothing, from just this lost little kid trying to fit in. He gave me a ministry. He blessed the ministry. He allowed me to get signed to a major record label and travel the world. And I was living my dream, you know. And it's like I'm living my dream, and I'm just sitting. Something I prayed for. I sent a demo in. My friend James, Plain James, I traveled with him. He told me, send your demo in, because I was talking myself out of sending my demo, because I didn't want to be like a thirsty artist, just sending my demo everywhere, trying to get on. He was like, man, I sent one in. You need to send one in. Like, you told me to send one in. And so I sent it in. Crazy stuff happens at the post office where it ends up going straight to Flame's house. He gets the CD. He puts it in. He's mad because somebody didn't gave his address out. He don't know that the lady at the post office just went on the computer and found some address, did something illegal that I didn't ask her to do, to get my CD to his house. So I get signed, I travel the world, I'm living my dream, and I'm comfortable. You know, I'm very comfortable. I'm making, you know, more money than I've ever made in my life, doing what I love. You know, my fan base is just exploding. At every concert, I'm standing in line for 5 hours, signing autographs, taking pictures. You know, I'm trying to figure the best way to sign my name, what Bible scripture to put with the name. And, you know, I felt like I was grateful. Yeah. I loved Jesus. I was happy. I loved what I did. I was with good people and just doing what I love. And I just remember feeling like, okay, is this it for me? Is this all you require of me, God? Is this going to be my life? And after the glitz and glam of it kind of settled down and it just became a job, I just began to realize that, am I in the right place? Am I doing what God called me to do with my gift? Yeah. And I basically ended up losing that job. I ended up getting fired from a record label. You know, people that I loved, people that were like great friends to me, you know, felt that I just wasn't what they needed or what they were looking for. And at the same time, I was feeling the same way. I was feeling like, I don't think this is where I'm supposed to be. Wow. And I actually prayed to God that they would fire me.
What is it with you praying?
I prayed.
Your little communication with God be deep, boy.
I prayed to God and I was like,
put it in me, Lord.
You know, I said, Lord.
You're talking about being with Clear Sight Music, right?
Yeah.
So you actually prayed and said, God, if this is
I said,
not
Lord,
what I want to be, if
it's not it, they have to fire me. Because I won't quit. Because I'm traveling the world right now. Jesus. Like, it was a miracle for me to even get signed.
Some of the people watching will be like, are you crazy? Like,
and people think I'm crazy. Because I done seen people leave record labels. When Shovel Rocker left Reach Records, I thought Shovel Rocker was crazy. Yeah. I was like, man, you crazy, bro.
Because he had left social media first, right before that.
But now I understand that you have to follow God. Yeah. Even when it looks weird and crazy. So I prayed. I said, Lord, if this is not your will, I pray they fire me. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to stop doing my job to the best of my ability. Yeah. I'm not going to do nothing halfway. but if it's your will, I want them to fire me because I'm not gonna quit. Because you know when you pray about stuff, if God don't tell you what to do, sometimes it's best to do nothing. So I just was like, I'm just gonna keep doing what's happening. I'm keep doing my job, keep traveling, keep touring, keep making songs, writing songs, recording.
Because you still love to do it.
I love to do it. I just didn't know.
It turned into a job.
I didn't know if this was it.
Yeah.
And so they communicated to me that I was fired. And
did you feel clout or you just felt?
No,
like,
I felt the way they did it. I felt they didn't do it
right
in the best way. I felt that.
Yeah.
And so that kind of hurt. But I couldn't be mad because I
like,
prayed, that they would fire me from the will of God. But what came with that was your income is gone. You go from making a lot, not a lot. I mean, I was making good money.
But the other things help be the what you was getting paid, like being able to travel.
You're touring. I go to a show, sell all these CDs, all these T-shirts, all these wristbands, I had all merch, just merch, selling all these watches and bumper stickers, and you go home with all kind of money just because people want to buy these Jesus products. Wow. And that's a whole other story. But
going to the Vatican.
Yeah. So everything was taken from me. And
so was it a Job experience or just this is your process?
I just hate I hate comparing my life to Job's life.
His was like he lost a lot.
But for me, everything that I had, the little bit that I had, was taken.
Yeah.
And people start unfollowing you because you're no longer with this big label.
Oh,
certain artists stop messing with you. You just this independent guy.
We need to stop that in the kingdom for real. Y'all need to quit that. That's not cute. Like an artist is an artist is an artist. It don't matter. Oh, they ain't down with this. That's sectarianism. That's biblically wrong. But anyway.
So I saw some of that. I saw some people start acting weird, treat me different. And I embraced it. I was like, yeah, because I felt like it was all on God now. I can no longer ride these coattails. Now, wherever my career goes, it's where God takes me. And so, like, coming here to Savannah and doing the concert yesterday, it was the exact kind of event that I love to do. And for some reason, I keep getting booked. Because there aren't a lot of those kind of events. Like, a lot of churches just have stuff for their youth groups. I love outreach events. Yeah. Like, I love events where people who don't know Jesus can hear my songs and my testimony. And there
was a lot of them passing by.
It was so many people.
In bathing suits, half naked, like.
It was you in the trenches, and you got to be because me and James went to Tampa, and it was during some kind of Freaknik type celebration. And so we out there with the gospel, and it's half naked women walking around. You can't just go out there no halfway Christian. Like
that's that dirty
people out there,
right there,
drunk, high, women coming at you. You can't be out there and iffy. About where you stand with God. You gotta be out. I'm out here to share the gospel. Yes. I'm out here to see people saved.
Focus.
I ain't out here to flirt. I ain't out here to meet no girls. I ain't out here to give out my number or get no number.
That's right.
I'm not out here to look around and see who walking by. I'm out here to give the gospel.
That's right.
And go home, get the heck out of here. You know what I mean? Like I'm not out here to socialize.
Yeah.
And so we go out into these places, but a lot of churches don't do these kind of events.
Yeah.
So I don't get 100 bookings a year. Because a lot of churches just don't really do outreach concerts.
It's difficult.
And I tell every time I go on any interview, anything like this, I say, hey, if you have a show that you're trying to do some outreach in a community with unsaved people, call Dirty Work Ministries.
That's it.
And we coming.
So tell me about that. So that's what you got going. So this whole process this is the process you went through. Mm-hmm. That God, you do believe it was God that sent you to Flames House because it wasn't supposed to happen that way.
I wouldn't take the whole experience back for nothing.
Yeah, so it was all God, but God is also, now he's directing you to a new place. Mm-hmm. So getting comfortable, and I guess that's what you're telling us is, don't get comfortable, but always follow God.
Follow God.
When that time, the outdoor opportunity to go ahead and go, it's time to go, you have to go.
Because some people get comfortable. Like they'll have a job and they'll work at a job for 5 years. And they get comfortable at the job. Let's say they make $30,000 a year. And to some people, that's good money. You're making $30,000 a year. You're working. But you're so afraid to leave this job and go to this next job that pays
more
20,000,
required, yeah.
or it's a harder job.
Yeah.
It's more risk involved.
It's good.
And some people never step out because here I'm comfortable and I can do this. This works. This is acceptable, but they never really step out to that next thing, that new idea, because they might fail. Yeah. I can fail. Yeah. I can fail. Like there is no reason why my career should go any further than where it went when I was riding the Clearsight Music train, because that was a powerful machine.
But what if you were supposed to be another machine that give other people opportunity? Hence why Plain James be rolling with you. He rolling with the right cat.
Exactly. And see, and so
I got to do this because I would roll with you.
And one time I was at a show with James, my homie James, one time, and I was sitting there, and God just communicated to me.
A sweet spirit too.
He said, "I don't need you. I can use him." And I was like, he was like, "You might be training your replacement. You might have already trained him." And God he just slapped me in the face.
Wow.
Like, let's get it straight. I can take this brother and use him.
Wow.
I don't need you. Like, and God will chunk me off like that. Because artists, we get so arrogant, we think we're the only person that can minister the gospel. We're the only anointed one at the concert. Everybody else just up there wasting their time. I have the anointing. And so he just showed me, like, man, I can use anybody, man. You're not impressive. You're not very impressive. So let's just get that straight. All right, now we can go and do what we do. You know what I mean? So, and I keep him around because he's a constant reminder that I can take anybody out the trap. I can take anybody out the hood and make them my vessel.
He's Plain James.
You know, he Plain James. Ain't nothing, he don't run around acting like he all that. But I can take him and take him to the highest height. He have more shows than me sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But so, you know, the process is God will strip you of everything that you're depending on that's not him.
Thank you, Lord.
And that's what he did.
Don't feel good.
Because I was depending on my record label to make me successful. I was depending on Flame's name to make me successful. And it was making me successful. But when that crutch gets taken, it's like, oh, whoa, I'm falling. Boom, then you land on God. And now all your success comes from God. Yeah. So if I fail or if I succeed, it's in God's hands. I can't point to anyone else anymore and say because of X, Y, Z, this is why I made it. But I'm making it now. Like I'm living in my purpose. Like this is what I was made to do. Like yesterday when I performed and I did my ministry.
And it was awesome too.
At the end, I promise. When I said, you know, my name is John Noel, this is my homie Plain James, you know, we are Dirty Work Ministries. When I said that statement, there was this power in it that I felt that I was finally in my purpose. Like I was finally in my lane. Like God was like, this is what I called you.
In your element.
And it's because of people like you that it's you don't have to be doing that stuff. Like there's no money in that. There's no money in doing an outreach event. There's no check involved. Like when you're doing outreach and you're going out into the hood, into the community, ain't nobody coming, how can we support? You ministering to the crackheads and the drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? Like there ain't no money in that.
None.
And
so I'm doing the dirty work.
You're doing the dirty work. You're doing the stuff that don't nobody want to do because ain't no money in it. Y'all down with the team, honorary members. We're going to put y'all on the website.
Thank you, Lord.
Give y'all a splash page. Like, y'all killing it.
So, tell me about Dirty Work Ministries with you and Plain. So, y'all, it's just two of y'all?
It's just two of us right now. We wanted to have a more concentrated focus on what we were doing because, you know, when you start a ministry, you got to have a clear vision. And I remember it was me and James. We were sitting in my car outside McDonald's.
I was going to ask you, how did it come about?
We was outside of Crystal.
Where at?
In Carrollton, Georgia. You know, I was in college, Georgia. University of West Georgia. And he, I don't know, man, me and James, we would just be out at different restaurants and we would always share the gospel with people. And it just became like a more serious thing because we kept having weird stuff happen to us when we would share the gospel with strangers. And everywhere we went, we would go downtown Atlanta for different open mic night stuff. And we would talk to, homeless people, just whoever, whenever, however. And we was like, man, we just need to keep doing this. We could just feel that the Spirit of God was just in us and on us to just be these modern day evangelists,
Seeing all the signs pop up around you.
So
Who just saying that to that person?
Yeah, and so we were like, let's put a name to it. And I was like, well, we're doing the dirty work. Don't nobody want to go out here.
Nobody want to do.
And do this stuff. And he was like, yeah, dirty work. Dirty Work Ministries. And boom, it was just.
That's tight.
Our thing, we started. And we really just want to go where people are that don't believe. And that's what we do. A lot of Christian artists want to blow up in the Christian market. They want to do big festivals and big churches and, get the big check. We just want to partner with organizations who are trying to impact the community, their communities. And in any way we can help. We don't always have to come rap. We can come speak. We can come pass out flyers. We can come hit the block. Like, we'll just come and be one of the people out there in one of y'all t-shirts who you trust, that if a person comes to them and asks questions about what is this about, who is Jesus, what is the gospel, we know how to break it down in a way that they can understand. And we just relate to these people because at different times in our life, we've been on drugs, we've been lost, we've been homeless in some ways, and so we can relate to people.
Yes, sir.
And we don't come across like we're better than them, and we don't present the gospel to them in a way where they feel demeaned and they feel like, we're coming down on them and we think we're better than them. Because we'll tell them quick, like, we're no better than you. We just want to love on you. Like, and when you see people in the community giving out food and having free concerts for just the people in the projects, and you got this dude on the stage telling you he loves you and he wants to help you, like, we don't have a reason to lie to you. We don't have a reason to come out here into the hood and lie and act like we care about you. Why would somebody waste their time? We're out here obviously because we care about you and we believe in Jesus Christ and we want to share that truth with you. And that's what Dirty Work Ministries is about.
Wow.
We also rap,
We also rap.
We also, make songs. So yeah.
And they off the chain too, because they came here to Savannah, Georgia for the Stop the Violence campaign, because our city is really, really, really struggling. I think a couple weeks ago we had 14 murders in 1 week. And for Savannah, that's crazy. Me coming from a big city, that's crazy. That's off the chain. And so you coming, we really appreciated that. Because everyone was, I never seen so many people jump up and down in the heat, 100 index with humidity.
I was shocked.
The end of the night, people were like coming up to us sweating, like, I'm going home. I want to hug you, but I stink. Because, everyone was just so excited, to see you guys and see that you love them enough to come here, because we play your stuff hard on this station.
I noticed that. I was like, wow, these people know my songs. Okay,
yeah, they know all the words. Yeah. Gospel Skate Night is like every week. We're like, play turned up. Play turned up. I'd be like, dang. Wow. So tell me what new stuff you got coming. Does James have an album coming out, or are you guys coming out with something duo? Dirty Work album? There
is in the works.
Okay.
A Dirty Work project. But right now, I just dropped my new album, my debut album. My other stuff has been singles and mixtapes for free. Yes. This is my first professional studio album.
And you can catch it on our splash page at theforceradio.com. First splash, come up. Boom. Young Noah.
Buy it. Purchase.
Please do.
So yeah, it's my first album, and it's called Time, and it's basically
it's deep. What's behind it?
It's just a deep song, a deep album that is just full of songs about different times in my life. I basically go back in time, and I explain what was going on in my life, in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, as Jesus was trying to win my affections, as Jesus was outreaching to me, as he was just pulling me in, reeling me in, the things I was wrestling with and going through. It's just an album full of, it's just real, it's the deepest stuff I've ever really written. And, you know, a lot of my previous stuff was more just energetic songs, just celebrating Jesus and turn up tracks where we were just having a good time in the Lord. But I really wanted to air out, you know, what it took and what took place for me to really just come to salvation and really just become a believer. And I just wanted to open up with people about who I am, where I come from, because I just wasn't always this happy-go-lucky, jumping around, smiling guy. I just want to kind of say, like, hey, I came from a dark place.
Yeah.
And if you're in a dark place, let my life be a witness and a light that you can change. And Jesus, first of all, Jesus can change you. And, you know, you can be redeemed from very dark circumstances.
Very
like
dark
you
places.
can be anything you can name, any dark place you're at, you can come from that place and you can become a Christian and you can become a changed person.
That's what I like about the splash page where your album, how it has the dark, it's darkness all around, and then it's like you can see your brown skin like emerging almost like a light. I get kind of deep with artistry, you know. So I was like, that's tight because it's like you're giving us, you're taking us in this time machine back to flash into these different places in your life so that we can get to know who you are, because everyone does know you based on Clear Sight Music, and they know you based on Flame, and it is important that you have, you know,
my own
for real
identity,
because we need to know that, you know, and that I think this album is a perfect thing for you to do so that we and our listeners can get to know who you are and where you came from, you know. So I really thought that was really awesome to see you emerging out of this darkness, because we see the beat. I mean, but it's like
I can do that all day long.
Yeah,
you know?
what gives you the excitement though? Why are you so turned up? You know, what has God done for you? And that was a big gaping hole right there. Exactly. So I'm really proud of everything that you're doing, and especially Dirty Work Me, and that you're making us honorary.
Oh, y'all can be down. Y'all are doing it.
Yeah,
it's a movement. It is more than, it's not a record label. It is a form of ministry. It is the form of ministry that doesn't come with pats on the back. It's a form of ministry that doesn't come with being picked up in a limo, and, you know, there ain't no autographs involved. You know what I mean? It's
none at
you know
all.
what I mean? It's, hey, you out here, nobody's gonna come.
Might not even have a lot of likes on
job,
Facebook.
guys.
Yep.
You're not gonna be,
because they don't have Facebook. They don't have phone.
You're not gonna be in the bright lights, and nobody's gonna go buy your album. Like, nobody's gonna. And if you win these people over and they start coming to your church, they're not gonna have a lot in their tithe envelope. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to the hood and you outreach out there. You're not bringing in no millionaires. You're not bringing in no doctors and lawyers making $100,000 a year.
You'll be no mega church.
Nah, like, you're gonna have a church full of people who love the Lord, and that's what I saw. I saw a crowd of young African American people who will jump around for Jesus for 6 hours in 94-degree weather.
For real?
Point blank, period. I said, ain't no way in the world these people don't love Jesus. Nobody here jumping around for 6 hours in the heat. Like, either you crazy, you just out here for no reason and something's wrong with you. These people love Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because we was like, we need to go to the store, get some water. We didn't want anybody to pass out because they wouldn't even leave and go buy their own self a drink.
Nope. And I was like, man, these folks. I've been to churches. I've had the perfect stage set up, the light show, the smoke machine, you know. And you have to beg people to come up to the stage. You have to beg people to clap. You have to beg people to, you know, worship God. I had no trouble. Wow. When I was doing Turned Up, I was kind of worried. I was like, okay, it's hot. Should I even do this song? And they was like, yeah, bring it.
Gonna pass out.
Bring it, you know? Yeah. And I was just, it was such a beautiful day. Like, it was, I'll remember this for the rest of my life. Like, it was that good.
Thank you,
I was like, these people hot and sweating, and they are jumping with all they might. You know? And so I just thank God for it. I thank God.
Well, we thank you for coming to Savannah. And thank you for coming to, you know, King's Court, just to let us know who William Thomas
Bohannon
is, better known as Young Noah.
Young Noah.
That's making a change.
Yes. Thank you. And
As soon as the boat cracks open, change is coming.
Amen.
What else you want to say?
Nothing. Just get at us. DirtyWorkMinistries.com.
Yes, tell them.
You got an event. You want some brothers to come out and just represent the Lord and talk to people. We're not scared. You shouldn't be scared, but if you're a little nervous about the community, you know, you want some brothers who are a little more comfortable, we'll come. You know, DirtyWorkMinistries.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Real Young Noah, Instagram, Real Young Noah, Facebook.com/Real Young Noah. Follow my homie Plain James at Plain James DW on all social media.
Ain't nothing plain about that James.
Ain't nothing plain about that James, but his swag. I'm just playing.
Well, we love you so much. And thank you for watching King's Court. See you soon.
God broke me down, God broke me down, God broke me, God broke me down, God broke me down, God broke me, God broke me down, God broke me down, God broke me, God broke me down, down, down.
So that he could build me up.
Can't think I'm playing out here, man. It's for show, not a game, big homie. Hey,
So that he could build me.
standing up as God's anointed, it's harder than you think. Man, that pride will fill your heart up and it start to stink. And God knows, cause you know you down here looking jank. On the bench trying to sit, but you know you can't.